3 quarterbacks in the first round in mock draft 2.0. I guess the surprising note would be that you don't think Justin Herbert at this point is a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I'm struggling with Herbert because I loved what I saw at the Senior Bowl. I loved how he got better as the week went on. He really, you could see the leadership. The players wanted to be around him. The 2-minute drill that he ran on Thursday, he's got something to him. But then I study the tape, and as much as I love the size and the arm strength and the mobility and all those things, I just, when you watch Joe Burrow, he carries LSU in moments that he needs to carry them. And Tua did the same, and all great quarterbacks do. Herbert's difficult because he's an introvert. He's a different kind of cat. I don't know that he's going to walk into a locker room and carry the room. And can he be that guy consistently? And that's the big question to me. But here's the reality. Dolphins at 5, Chargers at 6, Panthers at 7, Jaguars potentially at 9, go down to the Colts at 13. Who knows what's going to go on with the Raiders at 12 before them, the Buccaneers at 14. There are enough teams that I feel strongly he's going to be a top 15 pick, and it won't surprise me at all if he's a top 10 pick.
How strongly do you feel that there's no way just 3 quarterbacks get drafted in the first round?
I know. I tried to put Jordan Love in.
Yeah.
The Utah State quarterback. He's so talented, but he didn't complete 60% of his throws. You go back and watch his tape this past year, he lost everything. He lost his offensive line. He lost all the weapons around him. They go play LSU. He gets beaten up. He had no chance in that game. But you watch him on the same field as Herbert and some of the other quarterbacks, like Jalen Hurts from Alabama, Oklahoma, and he's clearly the second best quarterback in that group. And I think when it's all said and done, he probably will be somewhere in that back half of the first round. It's tough to find a team. And we also don't know what's going to go on with Tom Brady. Is New England in the market? The Saints, are they in the market? It's tough to figure out the last 10, 12 picks, which teams are actually looking for a quarterback. But I do think that there's a real good shot that Love's in there.
Talking to Todd McShay, our ESPN NFL draft analyst, you mentioned seeing all those guys on the same field. You mentioned Herbert in Mobile. Who were the other guys that stuck out during Senior Bowl week?
Van Jefferson, the wide receiver from Florida, who I had in the Orange Bowl, and he's a really good player. His dad, Sean Jefferson, played ball. He's a wide receiver coach now, and you can see in his game he's got good size, not great. He's got average speed, not elite, but every single route he ran was perfect, and the timing was there, and he caught all the balls in traffic. And then watching, I was talking to Torrey Holt, and he comes over and basically interrupts us. Thanks, Van. But he wanted to talk to Torrey to just pick his brain. 60 yards I watched them walk 60 yards down the field, and you could see the hand motions and all the little things, the nuances that they were talking about, and just trying to get better. And this is from a guy who's got a wide receiver coach, an NFL wide receiver coach, as his dad. And so that's the reason that he's so good. But Van Jefferson definitely stood out. Javon Kinlaw was a classic case. Defensive tackle from South Carolina, came in.
Everybody was raving about him.
Freak.
48 hours, made $12 million.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Going from what to what?
Late first round to somewhere in the top 10.
Wow.
Is he going to go before Derek Brown?
It's close now. It's close.
Really?
Yeah. I would stick with Derek Brown, but it is. I've got Derek Brown going 7 to the Panthers, and I gave Javon Kinlaw at 9 to the Jaguars, and that's
48 hours made $12 million.
Yeah, and he had a strained something, but I think he had very good representation telling him, all right, you did it, bud.
You have a strained something.
We got what we came here for.
You got this.
Todd McShay here on Golic and Wingo. He's put out his mock draft 2.0. The top 5 picks look like this here. The Cincinnati Bengals, number 1, take Joe Burrow at LSU. The Redskins, second, take Chase Young from Ohio State. Third, the Lions go with Jeffrey Okudah, cornerback from Ohio State. Fourth, the Giants go with Isaiah Simmons, outside linebacker from Clemson. And number 5, the Dolphins take Tua Tagovailoa from Alabama. The dumb radio way to ask this question would be to say, is there a Super Bowl level quarterback in this draft. But the way I want to ask you this, I think, which gives us a little more insight, is you do this every year. You look at these quarterbacks as they come out. Contextualize Burrow and Tagovailoa to me compared to other guys like Mayfield and Murray who've been at the top of your charts in previous years. How do they compare to those guys as draft prospects?
It's a good question. This year's unique because you've got Burrow Burrow a year ago, I gave him, I think it was a 4th round grade coming into the year. I mean, think about that. And then he comes and he's got Joe Brady who comes in as a coordinator, and he's got some wide receivers that step up, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire steps up at running back, and things just kind of all fit. But I don't know that I've ever had a player where you can go back and look and say, all right, I got to watch him at the highest level. It's not like Carson Wentz, who was at smaller school level and then had an injury. This guy was playing at LSU after transferring and going through everything he went through. But he was playing there, I think 13 games we had on tape of him. And then he goes from a 4th round pick to potentially and probably the number 1 overall pick. Then you've got Tua Tagovailoa, who everyone was talking about. He's going to be the guy. And just the injury, and I was standing 7 yards away, and it was like slow motion watching those 2 defenders converge on him, and it just had a bad feeling. And I thought he broke his nose, and I was thrilled that he broke his nose.
Because you thought that's all it was, right?
And then they pick him up, and he can't move, and so now he's going through that, and so everyone is looking. Everyone in the league, and I was just in the Senior Bowl talking to general managers and head coaches, and no one knows. They know what the grade is before the injury, but forget even, is he injury prone? Will he ever have that quick twitch ability like he had before and be the Drew Brees that we thought he was going to be from the left-handed side? So it's really interesting. It's a very different class in terms of the quarterbacks. And then you get Justin Herbert, who looks the part, never been really injured, loves the game, so smart, big-time arm, but he's a different guy.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.